I kind of want to get you though, so once you're done introducing.
We're saying.
Is it on yet?
Just 1, 2. Oh, very good. We've got sound. All right, welcome everybody tonight to our Kilgore Area Chamber of Commerce Candidate Forum. I'm excited about this, and we don't get an opportunity to do this a whole lot, and so we never know because we don't RSVP for these events if it's just going to be us and the candidates or us and the entire community, and so it looks like the entire community came out, at least those that are interested tonight. Thank you so much for being here. It speaks volumes for the engagement for y'all being here. So thank you. I do want to give a shout out real quick to several of our elected officials that are here tonight that are either running unopposed or are not in a race. Of course, we have Mayor Ronnie Spradlin here. Raise your hand. Thank you for being here tonight. That's it. Perfect. We have Justice of the Tim Bryan. I saw him right here. Thank you, Tim, for coming out tonight. City Councilman Victor Boyd here in the house. Excellent. Very good. Thank you for being here tonight. And Kilgore ISD School Board, Alan Clark. Alan, where are you at? There you go. Thank you for being here tonight, Alan. Did I miss anyone? I'm always worried. Jason Smith. Jason Smith, please raise your hand. Thank you, Jason. I'm sorry. I try not to look Alan's way at all if I could possibly help it. So very good. Dana Sneed. Thank you very Dana Sneed. No, thank you very much. It's the whole row. Jack, I don't know when you're going to run for school board, but very good. Thank you. I apologize for anybody else that I missed. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I want to say thank you to the Kilgore Area Chamber of Commerce. Bill has done so much. I want to say thank you to the First Baptist Church. Really want to specifically say thank you to Sam, who's in the back, and he was making sure that we had sound and we had everything that we needed to tonight, so we're not yelling from the podium. So thank you, and let's give a round of applause to the chamber, to the church, and the chamber. We'll go over the rules. We did send them to the candidates last week, but we're going to go over those with the group just so that you know exactly the format. But before we do, we are in a church building, so we're going to start with prayer. How does that sound? Let's bow our heads. Lord, we love you. We thank you that we have people in our community that are willing to step up and serve. They serve you. They serve our community. They serve our businesses. They serve our schools. They serve our citizens. They serve those that come in the morning and leave in the evening. They serve those that leave in the morning and come in the evening. There's just so much to a community. They serve the children. They serve the elderly. They serve everyone. And Lord, it's just so amazing that people will step up to these roles to be sometimes not always treated right, not always appreciated, and definitely not compensated for their time and for the effort that they put in. But they want to leave this city and this community a better place than they found it. Lord, we love that. We love you for giving us the example of that as you came to this earth and you served us. Pray that you would please be with everything that happens tonight. Pray that you would please keep our tone correct. I pray that you would keep everything just honoring and glorifying to you tonight. Well, thank you for it. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Mark.
Yes.
We need to give a shout out to Mrs. Erin Brigatti as the chair of the Chamber Board.
Miss Erin Brigatti is the chair of the Kilgore Area Chamber of Commerce Board. Thank you so much for being here.
The one I'm not supposed to ever leave off the list.
No, that's right. And chairs our education committee and has done so much with the foundation of the school and just a huge fan of everything going on here from an education lens, also from a business lens. All right, we're going to go over the rules quickly, and then we're going to jump right into our ISD candidate forum. The candidate forum is obviously open to the public with a limited audience size, all right? It's what we can fit in the room. You filled it out great. Well done. My name is Mark Robinson. I'm an External Affairs Manager for SWEPCO. I'm also the chair of the Governmental Affairs Committee and a past board chair, and did whatever Jill told me to do for like 6 years of my life. And so I put in my time, right? And continue to. I don't know what's going on there. Jill McCartney will be our timekeeper. You'll see her here at this table with 2 minutes per question and 2 minutes for opening and closing remarks. You will see her raise a 30-second warning and then a stop warning. We're not going to cut somebody off if they're finishing off a sentence, all right? But there will be no filibustering. There will be no going on and on and on. We really want to have a fair exchange of what you've accomplished and what ideas and what visions that you have for the future of Kilgore. Candidates will obviously be sitting on the stage facing the audience. Each candidate, beginning in alphabetical order, will make 2-minute opening remarks. So we'll start with the opening remarks, who you are and what your interest in running is, anything that you want us to know about you. Then the questions will be asked for the Kilgore ISD. We're actually going to have some students that are going to ask the questions, so I'm super excited about that. We'll introduce them to you here in just a second. And then for the place, for the city council places, I'll be asking those questions. There will not be any questions and answers or outbursts from the audience. We do ask that you respect that. Our candidates will stay around afterwards and talk. If we don't capture what you wanted to talk about, please meet with them, ask those questions. If you have a hard question that you wanted to ask that didn't get asked, they're more than happy to meet with you, have that conversation. Many of them have signs over here, candy signs, with like some ice water. Oh, that's for our speakers, don't take those. But you can come and talk to them if you like what they said, take a sign, put it out in your yard. And then after the questions, each candidate will have an opportunity to do 2 minutes of closing remarks. And that's how you know that that candidate forum, that piece of the candidate forum is coming to a close. All right. Are you ready to begin? Let's go. All right. If I could have our Kilgore ISD students, Xavier Alexander Ortiz. Let's give them a round of applause. You can come up and ask the first 2 questions for our Kilgore ISD candidates. And Xavier, what I'll do is I'll introduce them, and if you'll sit right there, that's fine. Of course. And then I'll hand you the microphone. We thought, what better way to have, look, you don't want me asking you questions about the Kilgore ISD. You want a student. So if they're talking about teachers, it's not my teacher. It's Xavier's teacher. And he wants to know, how are we getting good teachers? Right? Because that impacts him on a daily basis. Right? And hey, I lost a good teacher. Where'd they go? What are we doing to keep them? Those types of questions. How's the new school coming? All of these. And they wrote these questions. These are straight from the student body. And so we'll introduce, we have 3 students, but today is Xavier Alexander Ortiz, which is a phenomenal name. All right, so our first 2 candidates from Kilgore ISD, in alphabetical order, we have Reggie Henson, if you please raise your hand. Very good. And Miss Jessica Holmes is here, and they're both running for this seat. And the incumbent is Reggie Henson. So the first question is to Reggie Henson. And Xavier, I'll hand it off to you.
Okay. Thank you very much. What are your areas of concern regarding student achievement in your district?
Well, let me put my glasses on where I can see. My big concern right now, do I need to stand up? Okay. I guess my big concern right now with the school is cell phones. We got to figure a way. I know teachers use it, a lot of schools use it, a lot of classes use their cell phones, but I feel like a lot of the cell phones is a distraction. And we got to figure it out. That's one of my main concerns, and safety. Simple and easy.
Awesome. All right, same question, and I'll have Xavier repeat the question to Jessica Holmes.
Okay, thank you very much. What are your areas of concern regarding student achievement in your district?
I guess my biggest question on that one was, student achievement in our district. I think that we do a really good job of highlighting our students' achievement. Yes, they're there for an education, but if you can kind of boost their confidence, I think that's really important too, in addition to safety, in addition to making sure that they're there for an education. So.
All right, so next, Jessica Holmes will take the next question, which is all yours, David.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. So given all the issues that arises, how can the board stay focused on the students' achievements?
I think student achievement, like I said in the last question, is very paramount. Ultimately, yes, we make decisions, if elected, making decisions based on those achievements, but I think that making sure that the students are acknowledged for their efforts, as well as teachers being in the field, knowing exactly what to do to make sure that those students are acknowledged for their achievements is very important.
Very good. Thank you so much. All right. That was the first answer to that question, was it not? All right. So the next answer comes from Reggie. Could you please repeat that question for Reggie?
Of course. Given all the issues that arise, how can the board stay focused on student achievement?
We have to communicate with our teachers and our administrators, find out what they need, what's going, we have to communicate more than anything. A lot as a board, we don't know unless it's brought to us. So, biggest thing we need to do is make sure we communicate with the teachers, make sure we communicate with the principals. They're the ones out there, what the kids need. Bring it back to us and let us know. But we have to communicate more, talk more. Hey, what's going on? What these kids need? What's going on? Excuse my language. I'm not legally correct, so I may say kids needs or whatever. I'm kind of nervous, so bear with me. But biggest thing is communication between the board, teachers, and the students.
Excellent. And same question for, that was the second. So let's go into this. Let's thank Xavier for his questions, and we're going to pass it on to the next student, who I think is Maggie. Are you coming up next? All right, so we have Maggie Quine and Molly Quine, but first is Maggie Quine, so let's give Maggie a hand. All right. Your first question will go back to Reggie Henson, and your first question.
Thank you. So my question to you is, what can KISD do to make sure that the needs of special populations, like special education students, EB students, and gifted and talented students are met?
Okay, I'm going to be the first to know. I don't know what an EB student is.
It's like ESL.
Okay, that makes sense. We covered about it. Okay. We have to communicate. We have to recruit better teachers, recruit the highly teachers and administrators. It's our responsibility as a school board to make sure that teachers have the necessary tools. So that's the biggest thing, is to make sure everybody has what they need to achieve.
Thank you, Reggie. Same question for Jessica Holmes, and if you could repeat the question.
What can KISD do to make sure that the needs of special populations, like special education, EB, and gifted and talented students are met?
That's a really good question. I think that Kilgore is a leader in many aspects of the educational community. I know personally, when we looked at putting our son in Kilgore, we really liked the dual language program. We also have a daughter that's in gifted and talented, and so making sure that those needs are met from the entire student body is really important. And I think that that goes to making sure you hire and you retain teachers. You make sure that those certain programs are taken care of, and that's done through listening to the teachers and actually knowing what's going on, having a pulse on the actual student body and what's going on in the schools.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Maggie, you're doing a great job. All right, you ready for your second question?
I am.
All right, this goes back to Jessica Holmes for the second question.
Okay, thank you. What issues do you believe our district needs to address in its academic programs and offerings?
Well, I guess it depends on who you ask. If you ask the state, it's always about raising scores. I think across the board, from what I'm hearing, just talking to other members in the school district, other school districts in the state, I think one thing that we need to address is the decline in student enrollment. I think that overall, since the COVID happened, it's unprecedented events, and just having that opportunity for homeschooling, that kind of changed the game for students being enrolled. But I think that if we can find maybe just information on if it's whether they are homeschooling or if it's something that we can offer so they don't transfer school districts, that's really important to make sure that we retain those students.
Thank you, Jessica. Same question for Reggie, and if you could please repeat that question.
What issues do you believe our district needs to address in its academic programs and offerings?
Student reading.
Hey, Reggie.
Oh, my bad.
There you go.
Students, as far as students reading, we need to, this is just my personal belief, that if you get a kid that knows how to read at a young age, it's going to succeed. I see so many kids that when they get to junior and senior year, they can't read. It's hard to comprehend anything, do anything in life if you can't read. I feel like if we can get back to the basics of teaching kids how to read, comprehend what they read, understand, and translate what they read, it's going to translate into great scores and everything else.
Thank you so much. Let's give Maggie Quine a hand. Well done. And now we're looking for Molly Quine, I believe. All right. Should have heard what Xavier said to Maggie when they crossed the paths. He's like, haha, it's your turn. So, very good. Molly, thank you for coming. I'm going to have, let's see, I think Reggie, you're up first on this question. And if you could read your first question to Reggie.
Thank you. What steps should KISD be taking to help students prepare for their role as productive American citizens?
We got to teach kids the continue to offer kids extracurricular activities as far as programs like ag, band, athletics, cheer, dance. These programs help kids develop, which is going to help them out in the real world. I mean, not every kid is going to go to college. So some kids are going to come straight out of high school working. We have to have them prepared for that, for the real world. And that you're in athletics, band, or whatever, it teaches you responsibility. Time-wise, it teaches you time management. Well, let me see. And the biggest thing right now with the I lost my notes. Dr. Till, I'm nervous up here. I'm not a public speaker. But I mean, I just feel like if we can teach these kids through school the responsibility between right and wrong, be good citizens, that once they get out in the real world, they can handle it. But so many kids get out of school right now, they have no idea what the real world is waiting for. So it's us. Most supposed to start at home. Let's be real. It's supposed to start at home, but sometimes they don't. As a school district, we have to teach them the responsibilities of being great people.
Thank you, Reggie. Same question to Jessica, if you don't mind repeating the question.
What steps should KISD be taking to help students prepare for their role as productive American citizens?
I think that Kilgore is doing a great job, especially since I went to school in Kilgore, adding programs that aren't just college focused. Kind of like what Reggie said, not every student is going to be college bound. So we need to look at adding those, continuing to add those vocational programs. That way, by the time that they do graduate high school, they are prepared in other aspects other than just going into secondary, higher education. And I think that Kilgore does a really good job of that. I also think that not only focusing on education and academics, but also praising, their volunteerism and being active in the community, all of those things contribute to making a successful member of society.
Thank you. All right, second question. You're halfway there, all right? And this question goes to Jessica Holmes first.
With potential teacher shortages not expected to improve in the near future, what steps do you believe are important for KISD to take to ensure that it retains quality educators?
It's a really good question. I know this is a conversation that we have a lot. What can you do to retain quality teachers without breaking the bank, basically? I think that, and this is a conversation that we have a lot in our community. What can you do to attract? What can you do to retain? What can you do to incentivize current teachers? And I think that that's always going to be something that we look at, especially as a board, especially as a community. I think that the current board has done a really phenomenal job at offering, maybe an innovative calendar, the idea of having a little bit more time off to spend with their family. But I think moving forward, it would be a great opportunity, not just offering them pizza parties and, things like that. Because ultimately, financially, we need to be able to keep up with the cost of inflation and compensate the teachers for the hard work that they put in, because they're the ones that are making a difference and they're the ones that are cultivating our future generations.
Thank you, Jessica. All right. Last one for our school students, and same question to Reggie.
With potential teacher shortages not expected to improve in the near future, what steps do you believe are important for KISD to take to ensure that it retains quality educators?
First of all, I don't believe it's all about the money. I mean, you can, I guess I don't know how to say this, okay, but I believe that the salary and benefits is a plus, but we have to create an environment for our teachers to succeed, as far as giving them the right tools, supporting them, and a lot of times a teacher, from what I've been told from my friends, is they want to feel appreciated. You get someone in school that's here, that loves being here, feel appreciated, they're going to give you 110% all the time. So we have to create an environment, a positive environment for our teachers, safety-wise and material-wise, so they have the tools to succeed and have their back. So.
Thank you so much. And Molly, thank you so much. Let's give Molly a hand. Wouldn't that be great? And so Xavier Alexander Ortiz and Maggie and Molly Quine, fantastic. Thank you to our teachers that brought them out, our school board that is investing in them, and how fantastic it was to see young people that are engaging in this process. And, I'm looking at it as they're taking a picture. Let's all look at them as they take a picture. Yeah, that's going right on the school ISD webpage, I know. but we're looking at our future leaders and many of the young people that are here at our tables. Thank you for being involved, and thank you to the adults. We have time for one more question, so I'll ask one and then we'll have your closing remarks, okay? KISD received a $113 million bond. Were you in favor of the bond? And what result are you most excited to see as a result of the use of these funds? And Reggie, I believe you're going first.
Yes, I was 100% for it. And with this, we were able to, y'all see it with construction of a new high school, something that was well needed. We were able to redo stadium. We were able to do upgrades to Chandler on the HD system. We're building a new gym over there. So the money's been well spent. We did the track, built a new track, new soccer field, track and everything. We did a new tennis court. So the money's been well spent.
Thank you. Same question to you, Jessica. KISD received a $113 million bond. Were you in favor of the bond, and what result are you most excited to see as a result of the use of these funds?
Yes, I absolutely was in favor of the bond, and I served on I was co-chair of that political action committee that got that bond passed. One of the most exciting things I think I'm excited to see about it, and what I'm seeing happen, is the new high school. When we started the process of trying to get the bond passed, I went to school there. I graduated in 2007, and my mom went to school there, my grandmother went to school there, we were all in the exact same school. And so walking through it, I knew it was old and dated at some point, but just seeing all of the safety concerns was a huge eye-opening experience. But even since I had been to school there, it had gotten, you know, older as time goes on. And so I think I'm really excited about that. I think it's something that our community desperately needed, and it's something that I think as a community, we're going to see the benefits of.
Excellent. Great answers to both of you. Now we'll take time for 2 minutes of closing comments from each. Jessica, I'll start with you, and this is just an opportunity for you to say anything you haven't said yet and encourage people to vote for you, or really whatever you want to. 2 minutes.
Since we didn't get a chance to introduce ourselves at the very beginning, I guess that we probably missed the whole thing.
Yes.
But that's okay.
I apologize.
It's okay. I was going to say...
It's only the opening remarks I guess. I was so excited about the students.
I wasn't going to say anything, but anyway...
Y'all are way too kind. You should have just stopped me. Way to roll with it.
So, my name is Jessica Holmes, and I'm very excited to be considering running for place 4 on the Kilgore IC Board of Trustees. I am a graduate of Kilgore High School, class of 2007. I'm also a graduate of Kilgore College, 2009. I've been born and raised in Kilgore. I left, I went and got my bachelor's degree, and I came back home. Me and my husband, Greg Holmes, who's also a graduate of Kilgore High School, 2005. We knew that we wanted to put our roots here in Kilgore. This is where we wanted to raise our family. This is where we've been raised, and so we wanted to be able to put back and give back to our community like they gave to us. Together, I've been in real estate for 11 years. We own East Texas Preferred Properties here in town. It's been a really huge blessing to be able to give back to our community, to be able to give back to the members of our community through, you know, helping our friends, other KISD parents buy and sell in the community, also as well as doing commercial properties in this area. I will say, I think I am really excited to be considered for this position just because I offer a really unique perspective as a previous student, as a parent, as a business owner in town, also as a parent who has children that are going to be in 3rd grade and kindergarten. I offer a really unique perspective. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Reggie, same opening and closing comments, please.
Hi, I'm Reggie Henson. I've been on the KISD Board for, I believe this is my 3rd term. When I first ran, I did have kids in school. I've had 3 kids, 2 boys and 1 daughter that come through. We're raising my niece now. She's a sophomore this year. So I'm not from Kilgore. I'm from West Russ. I'm a little small West Russ. But we moved here. My wife just graduated from Kilgore, Sandra. We moved here, I guess, 95 or so. So we've been here a while. So I feel like I am from Kilgore. I pride myself on serving the community. I pride myself on doing whatever I can to make Kilgore succeed. I love to see kids right now. I run a little basketball league. I love to see kids come up to me right now and say, hey, Coach Reggie, kids just graduated, went on 10, 15 years ago, and I'm sitting there looking like, okay, you're 25 years old, so that makes me old. But I love that because I love serving Kilgore. I love serving the community. I love I feel like you don't have to have a kid on the board to be on the board. Because someone asked me that the other day, why am I running if you don't have a kid on the board? Because I love these kids at KISD. I love seeing them succeed and helping them in any way I can to help.
Thank you both for your passion, your willingness to serve and to run. Let's give our 2 candidates for our ISD board a round of applause. Our next candidate forum will be for place 1. We have Mayor Pro Tem and Council Member Merlyn Holmes and place 1 challenger Renshaw. We'll give you about 3 or 4 minutes to just kind of take a breather. We'll let them set up here and we'll call you back together. So don't go far. Give us about 2 minutes to reset. Thank you. Yeah, that's right.
You got nice and red up here, by the way. You got nice and red up here, by the way.
I did once. It's very long. And yeah, when I realized I hadn't done my opening remarks,
Should have given them 4 minutes.
You should have seen the shade of red in your face.
yeah,
Ties a little
I believe it. I've been told I turned 3 different shades of red when I realized I didn't do that. It's also very warm up here. Okay. Still live? I have 10 people on. That's good, 10 live. Be more than that later. All right, 1 minute warning. 1 minute warning. There may have been some comments from the front row how many shades of red I turned when I figured out I didn't do opening remarks. So that won't happen again. I say that. All right, thank you all. Let's go ahead and reconvene. Our next race is our place 1 candidates. The 2 candidates in alphabetical order are Mayor Pro Tem and place 1 City Council Member Merlyn Holmes. And the challenger is place 1 challenger Randy Renshaw. We will give you both 2 minutes for opening remarks. And Merlyn Holmes, if you would please begin.
Thank you. My name is Merlyn Holmes. I'm finishing up my, sorry, I have allergies and I'm sorry about that. I'm finishing up my 10th year of being on the city council. I love serving. A lot of people have asked why I want to be on the city council. It's service. And I have served the city of Kilgore since I was 18. And I just kind of grew up in the city. You know, one of my first jobs was working in the recreation department at the city of Kilgore. And I kind of fell in love with the government and how everything was run. And I just kept going. I've done my homework. I kind of started out slowly and getting on committees and kept growing and from all different sorts of things, and that's where I am. I've been married. I went to Leverage Chapel School, graduated from Kilgore College. I work there at Kilgore College now. I'm the Kilgore College Foundation Director and in Community Service. I have twins, Greg Holmes and Brett Holmes, 4 great-grandchildren, and of course, my daughter-in-law is Jessica Holmes. So that's the whole reason why I'm here. I want to serve Kilgore.
Thank you, Merlyn. Same opening remarks, Randy Renshaw.
I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. It's great to see such a good crowd. In case you don't know me, I'm Randy Renshaw. I was born in Kilgore in 1952. Been here all my life, never left. And graduated from Kilgore High School in 1971 and Kilgore College in 1973. And while all my friends got real jobs, I decided to go into real estate. And this month marks my 45th year. But you know, it's been a blessing because that has enabled me to get involved in Kilgore. I've been a member of the Lions Club for 45 years, served as president, and I've been serving as secretary, treasurer, and treasurer for the past 35 years. What are you laughing at, Jill? Anyway, I've been blessed to be a part of Kilgore ISD and the fact that I served on the school board from 1982 to 1992. I served on the city council from 2003 to 2012. 3 of those years I served as Mayor Pro Tem. And it was quite an experience. Enjoyed every minute of it. I've also been involved recently in KIBA, which is the Kilgore Improvement Beautification Association. My grandmother and my mother both were managers of the White Elephant Depot, the resale shop, and I've been kind of the ex officio maintenance man for I can't tell you how long. But I'm serving now as treasurer. It's a wonderful experience to be involved in Kilgore and to take part in many activities. Also, I served as president then and chairman of the board of the Kilgore Area Chamber of Commerce, and was instrumental in them relocating to the office next to City Hall, and did basically the general contractor work when that part of the building was remodeled. I've always been involved in Kilgore. I'd like to stay active. I've got to be doing something all the time, and I will tell you that I will serve you with dignity and respect if elected to my next term as city council member. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. All right, we're going to get into some questions, and we'll start, Merlyn. We're going to start with you, and it's about the why. Why do you, in a world of craziness from a national level to a state level to really a global level, why do you want to be an elected official?
Well, I hit on it in my opening. I believe in serving. I think that that's what we were here to do, is serve our citizens, serve mankind, and so I really believe that. But also, the reason why I want to be reelected is we have so many things in the works. I mean, Kilgore has done a lot in the last 10 years. I mean, it has been huge. From the Christus and Kilgore College new building at the old hospital to helping in a small way with KISD building a brand new high school. But it just goes on and on. We probably had more growth in the last 10 years than what we had for several decades. And I'm very proud of that, and I want to continue and see those things finish. I want to get completed and finish those things because they're huge for Kilgore. They're huge for our citizens and our future leaders. And I think that it's important for us to do that. And we are changing the face of Kilgore. Everything that we've done within this last 10 years, it's been huge. We've changed the face of Kilgore, and that is the reason why I want to.
Thank you, Merlyn. Same question to you, Randy, is why do you want to be an elected official?
Well, I have served before, and I would love to serve again. I'm very active and involved in Kilgore, and I compliment Merlyn and the current city council for the many achievements that they have reached in the past 10 years. But it's time to move on, and with other activities, I would like to see a continuation of the downtown revitalization project, which began when I was first serving on the council. And I want to see that continue, and I want to see other projects come to fruition. My main concern for running are the condition of the streets, the water quality, and the fact that Kilgore does not do what I consider to be a good job in public relations in order to keep the constituents informed of what's going on in Kilgore. We used to depend upon the print media, and I know there's some Facebook posts that the Kilgore Police Department, the city put out, but that's not sufficient in my mind to keep the constituents and the citizens of Kilgore informed as to what's going on. I know it's a media type world now where you don't have print media, but I feel like those are my concerns in Kilgore and the concerns of others that I've spoken with, the streets, water quality, and public relations. Thank you.
Very good. Next question, we're going to start with Randy on this question. Downtown is undergoing road work and has recently seen significant investment. How do we take downtown to the next level, and how do we protect its businesses from the negative impacts of construction projects?
Well, that's a good question. I was involved in the initial downtown revitalization project, which included sidewalks and the new lighting. And we had some concerns when we were working down there, and businesses did not have a place to park. So, yes, that is a concern. Now, the Main Street project, which has really been a long-term affair, it's not, to be tactful about it, it has been done the proper way. In my mind, the project should have been bid out and done in phases. Yes, there's a lot of work that was done in the fact that the water and sewer lines were under the street. All those had to be relocated. And that is common in a lot of Kilgore, because when it was built during the boom times, that was done to expedite the building of the road. Take, for instance, North Street. North Street needs a lot of repair and has for years. I'm surprised that it has not been in the street project. If it is, then it needs to. If it's not, it needs to be, because North Street is just as bad as Main. If you take the Main Street, is the main corridor into downtown. So when we do those projects, we need to take into consideration and do them in phases. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Merlyn, it's a long question, so I'll re-ask it. Downtown is undergoing road work and has recently seen significant investment. How do we take downtown to the next level, and how can we simultaneously protect its businesses from the negative impacts of construction projects?
I think it's a great question. And like Randy, when he was working on that, I was also on the Main Street Board, and I was the president of that. So I'm very aware of how that was handled then, and of a lot of the roads that should have been taken care of then were not. And that's the reason why we have such a shape that they are in right now. Some of the roads that we have taken up, we have had to replace complete water lines. We've had to replace sewer lines. That some of that was 100 years old, and it's very time consuming. It's cost a lot of money. Kilgore is not a rich community. We're a small community in the size of different communities throughout Texas, but we have worked hard to try to save every dollar for our citizens and be able to repair those roads and sewer lines and water lines to be able to get where we need. But I'm very aware of where we had started 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and we have done an amazing job repairing what we've done with the roads and everything with the dollars that we've had. But then not only were the sewer and but we did electric lines and things of that sort as well. And we have tried to keep all of the business owners informed and tried to keep them knowledgeable of exactly where we were going at all times.
Thank you, Merlyn. All right, Merlyn, you have the next question first. Do you believe in the use of incentives to help local businesses expand and to attract new businesses to our city?
Yes, I do. And incentives really entails a lot of different things. But when you're talking about tax abatements and things of that sort, to be able to get new companies into Kilgore, it's very important. Those big companies are used to working or bringing in to larger companies than what our city is. They are dealing with huge cities that can bring them in and give them land, give them everything they want. So our KDC is very special. They work very hard for the citizens of Kilgore, but we have to do that in order to get those big companies in here to the city, to make a big difference, to be able to hire our employees or people here. We do have to work on the other end of it to make sure our infrastructure is ready for that growth. We have to make sure that we work toward housing for those people too.
Thank you. Randy, same question. Do you believe in the use of incentives to help local businesses expand and to attract new businesses to our city?
Yes, sir, I do. Been involved with KISD, which is the Kilgore Economic Development Corporation, for many years. Worked hard with them. They do an excellent job, as Merlyn said, with tax abatements and other incentives to attract industry to our community. But I will also be in favor of incentives for downtown businesses, or local businesses downtown, and just retail, if possible. We did have some incentives for downtown merchants, and we need to do something like that again. But yes, I'm in favor of continuing with KDC and the many programs that they offer.
Thank you, Randy. Randy, this question is yours first. We've talked about several of these things already, but what is the number one issue facing your district, and how will you address it?
Well, I've mentioned that before. My main concerns, which when I'm visiting with people out in the community, are streets, water quality, and PR, public relations. And the city needs to find a way to keep the citizens informed of what's going on. We only have one print media, as I mentioned before. They do a good job, one paper a week with one reporter. And poor Lucas has worked to death, I'm sure. But we need to find a way to keep the people in Kilgore, let them know what is going on in the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Merlyn. Same question. What is the number one issue facing your district, and how will you address it?
Well, we have a few things that are going on right now. We have to replace the city manager. He has turned in his resignation, and he's kind of stayed on just to get us through this election time. But that is a priority for us on the council, to get that new city manager in and get that person up to speed on everything that we're doing. As well as we have some positions that are long-time positions that people held, that we're going to have to replace those people either from retirement or for other reasons, and those need to be done. But like Randy said, we do have infrastructure, water, sewer, roads that are very important, and we have got to put more money into that and try to get some more action in that area. But again, we only have a limited amount of funds. We can't do that overnight. It didn't get this way overnight. It's not going to be an overnight solution. We have to nibble this off little by little, as hard as it is for everybody. And I understand it's hard. I mean, it's hard for me. But it did not get this way overnight. And it's not going to get repaired overnight. And those people that think that that can happen, it's not. We don't have that dollar amount there in order for that to happen. And we're not the same typical size city as a lot of people. Cities that are normally about our same size, they're not the same as Kilgore. We are heads above these other cities. We do things that most people, most of these smaller cities don't even dream about. And Thanks, Jim. Thank you.
You can finish the sentence. You don't have to come to very good. Great answers. So both of you, and the last question before our closing remarks. Last question here. Both of you have been engaged in many different civic organizations. So this question should fit very nicely for both of you. Merlyn, you're going to answer this first. What other organizations are important to partner with in an effort to collectively move Kilgore forward?
Well, I'm part of some of those organizations, and I am part of the East Texas Council of Government. I am a past chair, and I'm on the board right now. We worked regionally for changes in all of our counties. I sit with judges, mayors, and such. We try to team up and do partnerships on a lot of different things, but it allows me to be in that company of those people and know what's coming down the road for us to be able to do that. The other thing that I'm in is the Texas Municipal League. I've been on that board almost as long as I've been on city council. We meet in Austin, so I'm constantly going back and forth to Austin. That is a state board. I'm a regional director for that. It's a state board. We're able to visit with elected officials and be able to help and look at bills before they are passed and make sure that Kilgore is taken care of and that we're not forgotten. A lot of the smaller cities, they're kind of forgotten in a lot of areas, but I am there trying to give us a voice. So I think that those are two great areas. And of course, I think that our hometown, KISD, I feel like we're a good partner with them, and as well as Kilgore College.
Thank you, Merlyn. Same question to you, Randy. What other organizations are important to partner with in an effort to collectively move Kilgore forward?
Well, Mark, it's important for Kilgore, all organizations in Kilgore to work together, especially the college, school district, and the city, as well as Gregg and Russ counties. As you know, Kilgore is in two counties, Gregg and Russ, so it's important for all of those organizations, just like it is for any other organization in the city, to work together to try to make Kilgore a better place in which to live. So we have very fortunate, blessed to have Kilgore College here, and the school district and the city and both counties, which have normally worked together to improve our city and to make it a better place in which to live.
Thank you, Randy. All right, both of you have had fantastic answers. This is going to be time for our closing comments. Randy, we're going to start with you on closing comments, and then we'll go to Merlyn to finish us out. Randy?
Once again, thank you very much for allowing us to be here tonight to answer questions and to tell you our vision for Kilgore. I want to tell you that it's been a pleasure to serve on the council for 9 years, and if elected, I look forward to serving again and to representing you as citizens of Kilgore. I have two items that I would like to propose to the council, whether I'm elected or not. And that's number one, that the council seriously consider term limits. And that would be a revision of the charter under Article 2, Section 1, which has to do with the city council. I would propose that the terms be 3-year terms instead of 2, and that there be a 3-year, 3-term limit. I'd also like to see the election move to the general election the first Tuesday in November. That would save the citizens money and time, and it would also increase voter turnout. So those are two things that I would like to see happen, whether I'm elected or not. But I look forward to serving you if so, and I appreciate your support and your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Appreciate that. And closing comments, please, Merlyn.
Thank you. I do want to thank everybody for allowing us to come out and talk to you tonight, because some of you I've never met, and I would love to meet you after this event is over with. I'll kind of hang around. My big deal is, for me, is I would like to continue to serve. I want to finish some projects, but I think Kilgore is a great place to live. It's a great place to work. I sound like Jill's slogan stone. But please come and talk to me at the end. I'd love to visit with you. Thanks.
If we could, please give a round of applause to both of our candidates tonight. Thank you so much, Randy Renshaw, Merlyn Holmes. We're going to take a break for about 5 minutes. We're going to start as close to 7 o'clock as we can, but please use the restroom and speak amongst yourselves. We'll come back right at 7. Thank you.
You did good. Great job. Congratulations. You did good. Great job. Thank you. Congratulations. Very good. How are you?
You're doing a good job. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Once I figured out what I'm doing, I'll be okay.
Yeah, those kids will shine.
Hey, they did great, didn't they? That was fantastic.
Have we seen Merritt? We've only seen it once, and I haven't looked at names for the ballots. I have no idea what he looks like.
Okay. All right. I'll ask around. Thank you.
All right, 1 minute warning. 1 minute warning. We could have Alan VanDoren and Craig Stark. If you're here, please come up. Thank you.
That is my general announcement.
Okay. right, Alan, how are you at singing a solo?
It's not gonna happen.
Okay, all right. Do what? I'll sing with you if you want to. No, let's not do that.
Just don't make me talk for the whole 30 minutes.
No, we're not going to do that. So what we'll do is, Craig Stark was not able to be here. He is the place 2 challenger, so that's Craig Stark. Was contacted, wasn't sure if he was going to be able to make it. But also here, here we have place 2 City Council member Alan VanDoren with us tonight. So we will, although there won't be able to be any type of an exchange or back and forth, we will allow the voters and our constituents here in town to get to know you a little bit better. And so we'll ask you a few questions if that's okay. But we won't make you take up the whole 30 minutes.
Not going to go 18 questions.
Okay, no, we won't. But I might make up some just for fun. No, I won't do that to you. Let's do opening remarks, Alan, please.
Okay, my name is Alan VanDoren, and it's an honor and a privilege to be here. My wife and I have been Kilgore residents since 2008. Been married 43 years. We have regularly attended city council meetings for many years. Why? Because we love this city. We want to know what's going on here. And as a appointed council member as of last fall, I've been able to sit in on city council. Thoroughly enjoyed that, getting to see more of the inner city workings, learning more about the history of Kilgore. Enjoying that. I'm excited to see and to help how Kilgore is going to go in the future. My wife and I have owned and operated Downtown Delights in Kilgore Street there for the last 12 years, and so I have an interest in the business concerns of the city as well. And more importantly than anything, I'm the father of 8 children and 25 grandchildren, so I know management and conflict resolution.
Oh my. That is a fantastic, I can say this because there's no opponent. That was a fantastic answer. All right. Alan, as you look for the next 15 years at Kilgore, what is your vision for the development of Kilgore?
What number was that?
Number 2, what is your vision for the development? I just changed it up and moved it around a little bit.
All right. I'm excited about the a lot of this stuff has been repeated already or said already, so I'm going to repeat some of it, but it's really exciting to see the hospital project, $23 million new facility down there between Christus and Kilgore College, and the part that the city has been involved in that. I see for the next 15 years, I see a cohesive council as we work together to make good, equitable decisions and accomplishments for all citizens of the city. And there are, I'd like to see some more added options for quality of life also in the city. We've done great with the parks, with the walking trails. Congratulations and kudos for all the things that have been done so far. There's more to do. We can't rest. And so I'm just excited about being a part of what might be coming down the road. So anybody has any good ideas for quality of life improvement, please see me.
Thank you, Alan. Talking about a little bit of your credentials, what community, education, and or professional experiences have helped you prepare to lead as a city council member? And what interactions have you already established with City of Kilgore officials?
Over the last 40 plus years of my professional career, I've had lots of opportunities in management roles, and director roles, things like that, to be able to work with people. I've earned a master's degree. That a lot of those courses for that were leadership courses. We worked with people from many different backgrounds. We were missionaries for a number of years overseas, so we worked in different countries. People are different. Everywhere you go, people are different. And what I find, one of the biggest things to do from my experience, from my background, just listen. You're not gonna sway me maybe, but I'm happy to listen to you. I'm happy to talk with you about your ideas and just to find out what's making you tick so that maybe that'll help with decisions that I might need to make somewhere down the road. Having a business in town gives me, again, a perspective for what may be going on in downtown Kilgore. We have an interest in that, to keep that. The renovations have been great. We came in, fortunately, after all the street work, so we didn't have any parking space problems. But there's more to come, and I know things are going to get a little, what's the word, heated maybe over some of the issues that are coming up. But we'll work through it. We'll get through it, and it's all for the betterment of downtown.
Thank you, Alan. You talked a little bit about people coming to you with good ideas.
how do you intend to keep your constituents informed about issues facing both the district and the city? And how will you solicit input from your constituents?
The city keeps things open, and there's minutes from all the council meetings, the downtown merchants association, the meetings, things like that. So the information is available, maybe not always readily available. One of the things I've heard numerous times over the years that we've been living in Kilgore is, how do you find out what's going on? So I'd like to see some kind of well-known published events. I know they're out there, but not everybody knows where they are. I know that Fred and Vivian Gantt Mercantile do a good job of keeping things in front of everybody, but I think we can do a little bit better job of letting people know what's going on. Because so many times, even before I got on city council, I didn't know that was happening. How do you find out about that? So I think that's something that needs to be done. Whether it's social media, print media, I don't know. There's a lot of ways to do it. We just need to be better about doing it.
And most of that was about kind of that forward towards the constituent. And so the second part of that question, I'm going to kind of keep you going on that, is how are you going to receive information from your constituents? How are you going to actively receive that? And what's the best way to get information from them?
Talk to my wife at Downtown Delights. And buy lunch while you're in there. No, I mean, just seeing people in town as I get to sit on city council for a little bit longer, hopefully after this election. People will more get to know me and who I am in my position. See people in Walmart or wherever, through church, through the business, and just be able to, hey, stop me and talk to me. I'm okay with that. I want to know what's going on out there and how I might be able to help us grow into a better city in the future.
Thank you. We have several very large construction projects that are coming in and around the Kilgore area, like the expansion of Highway 42 and the reconfiguration, the exit reconfiguration at I-20 and Highway 31. Those are big deals for the community of Kilgore. How important is our relationship with the state and county to ensure that these projects are beneficial to meet the business needs of our community?
What number, Mark? I've got so many notes here.
Oh, that would be number 15. Yeah.
There's it, I got you. All right, so we've had on my understanding, again, I've only been city council since the fall, attending some meetings before that. My understanding is that Kilgore has always worked well with the state and with the county on different projects. It's obviously their timeline. We'll do what we can do to keep things running smoothly. If the city, I understand, has put money into different projects over the years. So we just need to keep that communication line open. I think Reggie said it before, just keep the communication lines open, give and take, talk, let people know what's going on and how we can work together to make these things progress forward. And I just recently heard about the I-20 interchange. I'm not looking forward to that. But it is what it is. It's all for the good of the future of the area. So we're going to make it work.
Thank you, Alan. This one's going to be a little bit more of a personal question. What would you brag about most loudly as you're having your conversations, whether it's in a restaurant or a downtown business association, or if someone was, let's just say there was a visitor in town, what would you brag about most loudly if you were trying to attract a business partner to Kilgore?
Diversity, I guess. Maybe we have a lot of things to do, a lot of good quality of life issues. The KEDC does a great job of bringing advertising anyway, what's available in Kilgore. We have East Texas Regional Airport right there. We have easy access with people coming and going. We have I-20 corridor right here for companies that may have transportation issues. They can get their supplies in and their products out. And let's see. Where did I go? I'm sorry. 18 questions. Hard to keep track. We have Kilgore College. We have great school system here, KISD, right through high school. And just lots of things. I want to be able to encourage people that, you know what, you can come here, move here, bring your business here. Your kids can get a great education here, and there's jobs here to keep them going. They never have to leave. We're not originally from Kilgore. We got to Texas as quick as we could, and I would encourage people to want to stay here and just grow up here and establish their lives here.
we've talked a lot about the long-term vision, right? These are large projects, the expansion of downtown or 42 or the interchange. These are always going on. Let's look really short-term, 6 months. What would you like to accomplish in the first 6 months if you're reelected?
I think Merlyn said that one of the biggest priorities for me for the city council is finding a new city manager. That is critical to keep us moving forward. Josh has done a great job over the years. It's going to be hard to replace him, but we're going to start working at it and find somebody to cover his role. In addition to that, as Merlyn said, retirement, different people. BJ left, so we need a new special services director. We just hired a new tourism manager, so that's great. What she's doing a super job so far. So just keeping those, it's not really who drives the bus, I don't think, as much as who's on the bus. So we need to keep those seats filled with good people to keep things going forward.
Thank you. Alan, we've run through about 7 questions in about 15 minutes, and you are just ripping them off. So I'm going to actually ask you to kind of finalize your closing remarks, and thank you for allowing us to get to know you a little bit better tonight, and thank you for your attendance. And if you would please give us your closing remarks tonight.
Sure. First of all, I want to thank you all for coming. As everybody else has said, I'm super thrilled with your interest in the city. For those at home, thanks for tuning in. Maybe you can look at it at a later date. That's great. One of the questions that we had was, campaign strategy, I think. And somebody, after looking at my signs, which if you've seen them, they're just kind of plain. And it said, that's just what I am. It's short and sweet, to the point. What you see is what you get, so I would encourage you to get out there and vote. And then my prayer is that the Lord would put the right people in the City Council and the KISD for looking out at the citizens and our business options that we have in the city on May 4th. So thanks for coming, thanks for your time, and I'll be around if you have any questions.
All right, let's give Alan a round of applause. Thank you. Place 2, City Council. Thank you so much. All right, we have one more, and Daniel's here. All right, Missy's here. Okay, good. We're good to go. Give us about 5 minutes. We're going to get ready for our Place 3 City Council candidate forum, and that'll start in about 5 minutes. Okay, that's what I was just looking up. You what? Let's go. We got extra time. And I did yes or no questions. Like, please don't answer just yes or just no. One minute. I'm gonna go eat after this. I'm hungry. I'm almost hangry. I'm not quite angry. Hangry. No, I already had 1 of your minutes. I'm done. I don't want to eat that many on a... All right, thank you, everyone. You've stuck in there. I've been at candidate forums where half the crowd will leave after their person talks. So I'm excited about this. Thank you all for staying in. We're on our final candidate forum. This is the place 3 city council candidate forum. We have 2 candidates in alphabetical order. It's place 3 challenger Daniel Gantt, and then place 3 city council member Missy Merritt. Thank you both for joining us tonight. And we're going to start with our opening remarks that I will not forget. So, all right, very good. Daniel, if you would please begin with your opening remarks. Thank you.
Mic check. All right, good evening. I'm Daniel Gantt. I'm running for place 3, Kilgore City Council, and would appreciate your vote. Just a little bit about me. I've lived in Kilgore coming up for 14 years. Prior to that, I had visited East Texas. I had friends in Henderson, and I had friends in Longview. And when I was in technology, I was like, I need to move somewhere to be a little bit slower pace of life. No disrespect, but compared to...
You're good. It's coming out loud.
Is it?
Oh, yes.
My mics are wireless now. Anyway, when I left technology, I moved to Northeast Texas, and my friends were giving me grief, and I said, they wanted me to move to Longview, one wanted me to move to Henderson. And I said, no, if I do that, I'll be accused of favoring one over the other. So I moved to Kilgore, and I couldn't have been more pleased with my decision. I met my wife here, Miss Lanita. She is my first lady of Kilgore. I own a safety business. And people ask me, why run for what some consider a thankless position? It's all about serving. You're hearing that tonight. The common theme is serving your community. Kilgore has given a lot to me, and I'd like to give back. And as we get further along in this discussion or this forum, I'll show you some of the things and explain some of the things that I've done. Once again, I'm Daniel Gantt, running for place 3, and would appreciate your vote coming up. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Opening remarks, Missy Merritt.
Hi, y'all. Thank you for coming. My name is Missy Merritt. I've been in and around Kilgore for my entire life. Learned to cook quail about 3 blocks from here in my late teens, early 20s. I've thoroughly enjoyed being on city council, and I'm humbled and thankful for the people and organizations that have supported me and continue to support me. I'm always available for anybody in this community that has a question, a concern, anything that you need, and I'd like to ask you to please vote for me, either early or on May 1st.
Thank you, Missy. All right, we're going to go into questions. Daniel, we're going to start with you. Our first question is going to be, Kilgore's business parks are getting full. That's a great thing, right? That makes us excited. And KDC needs additional land for new development. How can the city overcome that obstacle to attract new business prospects here? Daniel Gantt.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. And I forgot to mention earlier, I guess this would be the filibustering. Xavier, Maggie, Molly, if you're here, thank you. I was president of student council, and that means a lot to me that we've got our students involved in the political realm. Yeah, so it's a good problem to have. KDC is one of the leading economic development corporations in the state of Texas. They're extremely, what I would consider, visionary and forward-thinking when they built Synergy Park. Well, Synergy Park is starting to max out, for lack of better words. Because of that, it's like, well, how do we attract, but more importantly, how do we retain business for our city? And there's a couple of different ways to do it. People talk about annexation. I don't want to go down that path. That wasn't part of the 18 questions. But there is a term, or it's called tiers. And what that stands for is tax increment investment zone. We put the onus on the business owner to come in and help build this park or facility out. And of course, they're not going to be penalized through tax abatements, but at the end, ultimately, they have a stake in it. It increases the value of the said property, it encourages development, and it takes us, the city, off the hook as far as building out infrastructure with water and sewage. But that's one of many ideas. But once again, us being an oil-centric city, there's going to be concerns with new property acquisitions, with pipelines and stuff like that. So we're a little bit different in that respect. So we've got to be real careful in how we grow, but grow the smart way. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Missy, same question. Kilgore's business parks are getting full, and KDC needs additional land for new development. How can the city overcome that obstacle to attract new projects here?
KDC has done an unbelievable job in providing stability and long-term investment in our community with what they've done in attracting and maintaining business. They are their own entity. KDC is their own entity. I'm more than happy to work with KDC and local landowners or corporations to try to pursue future opportunities for KDC to acquire more land and continue to grow the tax base of the city of Kilgore.
Thank you, Missy. Next question, we're going to go to Missy first on this. We talk a lot about, of course this is a chamber meeting, we're talking a lot about business, but outside of business, we talk a lot about quality of life too. So this will be a quality of life question for the two of you. What major capital improvements are necessary for Kilgore's future growth, and what quality of life improvements are necessary? And how do we fund those? Do you support bond, or do we utilize existing taxation methods?
I'm happy to explore either option. I'm going to go along with what everybody else has said, which is infrastructure, the water lines, sewer lines. It's an ongoing battle with aged infrastructure. The improvements that have been made with the backup generation at the water treatment plant, on and on and on. And I understand that Main Street has gone on longer than probably anybody wanted to see. But we're there. I think that the trail system has been a huge draw for our community and people wanting to move to Kilgore. In the future, I think that we should expand that and continue to provide those things that make people want to move to Kilgore and continue to fund our tax base.
Thank you, Missy. Daniel Gantt, same question, and I'll find it here. What major capital improvements are necessary for Kilgore's future growth, and what quality of life improvements are necessary? Would you support a bond to fund these, or do you want to do it out of the existing budget?
It's a great question with a lot of different answers, and unfortunately for me, I'll be the first to tell you, not serving on the city council doesn't really give me a line of sight like Councilperson Merritt and the other council members along with the mayor. But growth is contingent on water, okay? If we don't have water, things will not grow. And the city is working diligently to bring that infrastructure back in line because of the neglect it's suffered through the years. I can't change what's behind me. I can't. What happened yesterday, that's yesterday. Let's focus on tomorrow and focus as a team. Water is huge. And a classic example, when we're talking about, one of these questions is working together with other organizations. And I was my business allows me to talk amongst different industries, municipalities, state, local governments, and we share best practices. What works for you? What doesn't work? Well, classic examples, when we built a new school south of town, KISD came and approached the city as far as, we need a water tower. Well, at that point in time, we didn't put a water tower in, and they were willing to go in half of the cost of what a water tower, in partnership with the city. As a result, it didn't happen. KISD had to put pumps in, and we suffered in the long run. It's all about looking forward. Don't look back. That's behind us. Let's change what we can change. And with everyone out here, we can do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. And this is going to be a bit of a segue. I'll try to make it different than the answer that you just gave me. It's what best practices from other cities. And so Kilgore is not an island to itself. We are connected by multiple pieces of infrastructure to those communities around us. Several of them have been mentioned already tonight. What best practices from other cities have you seen that Kilgore should consider implementing?
So the question, if I'm correct, is what best practices other cities are utilizing that our city could utilize to our advantage?
That's correct.
Beautification. We do a lot of work in Henderson, and beautification is always top of the list. Henderson does a fantastic job, and it costs money. It does. I mean, there's no ifs and buts about it. I've come to the city council and I've talked to them as far as something as simple as planting wildflowers in our entry corridors, okay? Let nature do something as far as planting flowers. If it works, okay. If it doesn't work, that's okay. At least we try. And I'm open to anyone offering suggestions as far as beautification and things that we can do to make our city better, or more importantly, make our star shine brighter. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Missy, same question. What best practices from other cities should Kilgore consider implementing here?
So I think that what's going on with our downtown has been great so far. I think that we should have more Oktoberfests or St. Patrick's Days or things like that in correlation of like Henderson has their stuff. Downtown Longview does a ton of downtown gatherings. I think it brings people into our community will we offer something that nobody else does? I would like to see more of those things, whether it be Cinco de Mayo or on and on and on, that bring people to downtown like what we have going on with Oktoberfest. I actually thoroughly enjoyed this presentation about the wildflowers. I thought that was something that we were going to move forward in exploring. I haven't heard anything else about it. That doesn't mean it's not happening just because I don't know that it's happening. We planted wildflowers in a previous job over by Texas Eastman. Those wildflowers are still blooming every year. It's longevity and it's not expensive and it is beautiful. So there you go.
Thank you. Next question, we'll start with Missy. Missy Merritt, how do you build consensus around your point of view, and how will you approach other city council members who have opposing views? This is more of like a personality question. How do you build consensus, and how will you approach other city council members if they have an opposing view? Missy Merritt, your question first.
You know, that's an interesting question considering a lot of what's going on and where we are at the city of Kilgore right now. I do my best to continue to be respectful, try to listen and understand how everybody feels. I do everything I can in my day-to-day life, every minute, every day, to be led by God, and I try to choose my words and my actions wisely. Nobody on this planet is ever going to agree with everybody else. It's impossible. Everybody has their reason that they want to serve, and what's important to me may not be important to somebody else. If somebody in this community comes to me, I'm going to do everything I can to try to have their voice heard, because that's my responsibility as being elected in the city of Kilgore. Does it happen all the time? No. But again, I try to be respectful of my words and what I say and the way I act, and that's the best I can do.
Thank you, Missy. Same question for Daniel. How do you build consensus around your point of view, and how will you approach other city council members with opposing views? Because we don't always agree.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The common theme I've heard tonight from other council members, candidates, and KISD is that communication. It's about effective communication. But more importantly, it begins with consideration of what the other point of view is. But probably the most important is respecting someone else's different opinion. It's okay. If you like liver and onions, and I don't ban me from the kingdom because I don't like liver. There's no amount of money in the world that's going to make me like liver and onions. But anyway, if you like liver and onions, more power to you. There's more for you. But consideration, respect for each other, and eliminate the negativity. It's got to go. I mean, what's happening is we're getting a bad look. And that's not good for our city, our citizens, our businesses. And then work together as a team. And I've done that as an account executive for a major computer company. And I supported a team, or I led a team of 12 individuals. And we were very effective in what we did as far as hitting our numbers, satisfying the goals from the corporation. But it's just respect. That's what it's about. Respect someone else's opinion. It's okay to be different. Thank you.
Thank you for that answer. I'm going to ask both of you one final question that I've already asked. I believe I asked it to Alan, and I just enjoy hearing the answer from both of you. So, and I'm up here with the microphone, and so I get to ask the last question. And so, as a chamber member, as a chamber board member, as a past president, it's important to us to bring businesses, and you know, it's interesting to see the traffic coming into town in the morning, and hopefully we can keep them around for a while, eating at our restaurants and shopping here before many of them go back to what we know as our bedroom community of Longview, right? And then building homes and all the different things that we need to do here, right, to have places for that workforce to become a dwelling place and bring their families here. So, same question. What do you brag about most loudly if you're trying to attract a business partner? Or let's just say you're trying to convince somebody to come live in Kilgore. What are you most proud about? Daniel, that's going to be your question first.
What I'm most proud about is I'm adopted. A lot of people don't know that. I've got an older sister and a younger brother. We're all adopted from different parents. And when I moved to Kilgore, I was an outsider. Some people still may consider me an outsider. But Kilgore, 13, 14 years ago, I don't know the exact dates, I apologize, is like my adopted family. And here it is, 12, 13 years later, I'm sitting up on the stage running for Kilgore City Council. I mean, how good is that? It's the people. It's the people that we have within our community. And being able to leverage those relationships. Well, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And everybody has a say. And like I said, the people are the most important. I tell people this all the time when I'm doing fire inspections. I don't care about your building. I can replace that. Or you can replace that. What I do care about is you, the individual, getting out. We can't replace you. So, it's the people.
Thank you, Daniel. Missy Merritt, same question. What would you brag about most loudly as you're trying to attract a business partner to Kilgore or someone to move here and live here?
The history of Kilgore is a way of life. We are a proud group of residents in the city of Kilgore. And I brag about the trails. I brag about the golf course. I brag about the museums. I brag about all the things that the community of Kilgore has to offer that a community our size is so rare for those things to exist. People are friendly. They want to invite you to church. They want to invite you to Lions Club. They want to invite you to the senior citizens group. You know, people all the time I hear stories of, well, golly, I was eating over here at such and such with my kids and I went to pay and the whole tab had been paid by somebody and I don't know who did it. That's the kind of community that you don't find very often in the world that we live in anymore. And that's pretty high on the list of things people appreciate when you tell them about Kilgore.
Thank you both for answering that question. We're going to move into closing remarks. And Missy, in turn, this is going to go to you first. So closing remarks, Missy Merritt.
Again, I want to thank all of y'all for taking your Monday evening to spend it with us. The students that got up here and asked the questions, hats off to them for doing that. I hope that all of you will get out and vote. I hope that you'll consider voting for me. And please feel free to call me, email me, send me a carrier pigeon, whatever your preferred method is, and I'll talk to you and answer your questions, do anything I can to help you. I look forward to continuing to serve Kilgore.
Thank you, Ms. Merritt. Same closing remarks, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to piggyback off that last question. I forgot to mention, this is super important. If my stepson didn't hear me mention this, it's chicken fried steak at lunch for Jack Ryan's, the best. He always wants to go there. And going downtown for an ice cream afterwards. But anyway, I said, I'm running for this position because I want to move the city forward through leadership. And we've got to have cooperation amongst key decision makers. My business allows me to work with various department heads throughout the city, be it Kilgore Police, Kilgore Fire, Kilgore Rescue, Permits Department, you name it. I've got the relationship that allows me to move these projects forward. But what I will tell you, I am, and this is from the bottom of my heart, I will not grant special influence for family or friends. My special interests are for the citizens of Kilgore. Always. I'm Daniel Gantt, I'm running for Kilgore City Council Place 3. Thank you.
Let's give a round of applause to our two candidates for tonight, Missy Merritt and Daniel Gantt. Thank you so much. All right, thank you so much everyone for attending tonight. I do want to remind you, April 22nd, go ahead, no, you're fine, no worries. April 22nd through the 30th, early voting begins. May 4th, if you don't get early voting, that is when the voting happens. Thank you so much to the Kilgore News Herald for coming out. Thank you to the First Baptist Church and to Sam specifically for our sound tonight. Thank you all for being engaged, voters and constituents. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great night. Be safe. All of our constituents have signs, I believe, over here. If anybody would like to put your
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.